Hi, all, and I hope you're doing well. This is going to be another one of those podcast style of videos, and it's going to be an interesting one today. I am really getting into podcasting and having a conversation or just opening a conversation about these, what I believe are important topics. So today is going to be a conversation on property versus perfume. I know that it sounds like the most ridiculous thing, but hear me out. So, when I talk about property versus perfume, I know some of us are in this really interesting space or in a blessed space where, property is something that we all need, and is a necessity for you to live in. You have shelter, some sort of shelter that you need to live in, and you know, it's essential to life. And then you have the perfume side of things, which is more so an enjoyability type of side of things. So yes, with perfume, and I challenge you to really have a think about this. So with the perfumes in your collection, have a quick run through and just calculate how much you've spent on your perfumes. In general, in total, it doesn't have to be how much this year, how much last year, but in general, in your current collection, how much does that equate to? Then next, I want you to think about all the other perfumes that you actually bought full sized. Just think about it, the full sized purchases, the niche, the non niche, designer, whatever it may be, you know, just really have a think about it. And honestly, when it came to me, this really did blow my mind. The amount of just money these perfume companies have been asking for their product, and samples are not always going to be a thing, and there's a lot of people within the perfume community that are incredibly introverted and they don't enjoy leaving the house, and I think COVID has really affected so many people for when it comes to wanting to leave the house. I mean, there's been extroverts, and then lockdown happened, then all of a sudden they become these introverts. They enjoy just being with just them by themselves at home or in a room or just not really outside. I mean, we've lost that side of us, a lot of us actually, where we go out and we want to try these new things and test them out. And, we have the internet, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time. And I mean, that's a different topic for a different video, but I'll touch on that today. So, with the internet, you have everything readily available. You have your temptations just there. And obviously, a lot of companies wouldn't really care too much what you do with your money, whether you buy their product or not. I mean, there's marketing for a reason. They'll market the product over to you through specialized advertising and CEOs, and just, they kind of do their thing to captivate you into purchasing, but really ultimately the decision is yours. But with these influences that constantly happen around you, people say avoid just getting into these influences all around you. Eliminate what influences you, because end of the day, what you consume is kind of what you will act on. It's just, it's really difficult, and it's such a sore topic to speak about. I mean, if you was to have this conversation with me a year ago, I'd probably be like, yeah, I know, so on and so forth. But it's not realistic to have this approach when so many people don't really have a home, and the prices of flats and apartments and houses are all just really going up ultimately. And it's not fair, but it's also a wake-up call for us to really know where to be placing the money. I mean, if you bought a limited edition perfume that might be worth a lot of money, then fine, fair enough, it's worth the investment. But if it's just these perfumes that you buy for self-pleasure, I mean, there's so many other things you can do for self-pleasure that might not cost a thing. I mean, if you're into sports, Why don't you go for a run? Why don't you do a high intensity interval training session or a low intensity interval training session? Why don't you do Zumba? You watch a YouTube video and just follow along with the Zumba lesson or class. And there's so many opportunities for us, and they're definitely the ones that cost money are less expensive than perfumes, or at least they leave a lasting impression on us. But I understand there's this whole argument against, perfume makes me feel like feel like in real life, and it is one of your senses that are getting stimulated by it. I mean, scent is such an important thing in life, and it does take you back to maybe certain parts and points of your life. You could wear a certain perfume when you were going through a really tough time, or a perfume might remind you of your grandma, your grandfather, or someone that you loved truly and deeply. But not all our perfume purchases have to be full sized. And I mean, I've repeated this, I think, in a few of my videos just to emphasize, because I still see it happening so often. And it breaks my heart because a lot of these people, they say, you know what, I've already just put down £1,000 in perfume this month. I have to try and control myself. And it really does get to a point where you really need to identify the root cause of just blind buying, for example, or just buying a ton of perfume you just want to try, and if it doesn't work out you try and sell it, but obviously the resale value is not all that great. Regardless of what you buy, you're definitely making a loss in your purchase. But with property, on the other hand, we'll take it back now to property. So with property, on the other hand, it's not something that drops in value if you keep it for a long time. You can literally live in it, exist in it, and yes, you pay money to be in it because of the bills, so on and so forth, and you have your other things that you have to do, such as your monthly shop for food, and yeah, if you want to have to, you want to go to the gym and you have to focus on your exercise, then yeah, I mean, that's another cost. But again, £1,000, just dropping £1,000 to just to spend money on perfume alone, it really does get out of hand. And when you don't know, or when you do know what's going on with you and the root cause of this almost borderline addiction to just searching for the next best thing, and you might not financially be in that position to do so, it's something that really shakes you up. And with property, again, that's an asset that will increase in value. I mean, don't let it break down or so on and so forth. You have to maintain it, and make sure you care for it, because it is a big asset compared to perfumes being a small asset, less responsibility, but still you're making a loss regardless. Yeah, you might say and argue that no, it's not necessarily a loss, it brings me great memories, but I just don't use it. So then in this case, wouldn't it be wiser to get a decant? And some people may argue, okay, I like to display my perfume. So really, it would be a great conversation to have, and I would love to know your thoughts on it. And I genuinely have been enjoying these podcasty style videos because it really does make you think, and it's a great podcast style video to have in the background of your day-to-day life. I'm personally into podcast style videos, and it really does play up on my mind if I have an idea and I want to share it with you all. And I think it's really important that we have more discussions and conversations and share ideas. But yes, do be not cautious. Be careful with your comments, and just be aware that others in this space are younger people. So make sure that your comments are kind and as lovely as possible. I mean, if you want to share an experience, it's great to hear your experiences in terms of perfumery and blind buying, and what's your thoughts on the whole property versus perfume idea. I mean, it's quite an obvious one what the answer would be here, but it's always it's always insightful to see what other people think, and it's always great to discuss things with fellow perfume heads. And yeah, I can't wait to hear from all of you soon, and I shall see you all in my next video. Take care till then. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next. Take care. Bye.